Good morning from Ostionalito. This is little Ostional. We're just a few steps away from the site of one of the greatest natural wonders in the world. In rainy season nights, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of sea turtles arrive at the nesting beach right behind us at this very moment. It's an absolute spectacle. But alas, it's neither rainy season nor is it night, and we're not about to go turtling, we're about to go birding. Today's my first attempt at a Nosara big day. That is, trying to find as many different bird species as I possibly can in a single day. I've done some scouting before, which led me to the crazy idea that this might be a very good starting location, but we'll have to see how it works out. I would say let's get going. Vamos. Traditional big days start at midnight and end at midnight for a true 24-hour birding experience. But traditional big days also don't take place in 35 to 40 degree heat under the scorching sun. And since I have yet to figure out if and where to find owls here in Nosara, I decided to skip the crazy hours. Instead, we're starting here at now 5:45 a.m. because I'm hoping for two of my very much wanted birds, the striped cuckoo and the lesser ground cuckoo. Neither should be particularly rare, but both have proven to be very elusive to my attempts at spotting them. Either one of the two would be a huge start for my big day. Time for a quick update. I've been here for a little over an hour now. The cuckoos are nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be heard. I do believe they're here. I just think I'm really unlucky with those birds. But we did have some nice observations. It's nesting season for the flycatchers. We saw Kiskadee with some nesting material. We saw a streaked flycatcher and even discovered the nest of the streaked flycatchers. I had some brief glimpses of long-tailed manakins, which is always nice. Overall, just the expected dry forest birds at this moment. But we did have one highlight, and that's the lesser nighthawk roosting in that tree up there. You have to be quite lucky to find them. It's always a nice view, and they're just such strange and mysterious birds to me. I always really enjoy seeing them, so that was fantastic. Apart from that, not too many birds to be seen at this moment. You, of course, hear a lot in the background here. And I'm counting those birds towards the day total, but it just doesn't make for a nice video. So I'm really hoping for some more action and some more birds actually showing up. And maybe, who knows, maybe the cuckoos come out of their hiding place and we get lucky today, but yeah, I kind of doubt it at this point. But there is a trogon. So let me quickly walk you through my game plan for the rest of the day. I'm going to spend another hour, maybe 2 hours here in Ostionalito. I'm walking to the beach right now. There's a little mangrove-lined inlet where I'm hoping we'll see some waders. I'm hoping we'll see some herons, maybe kingfishers. Who knows what will show up. There will for sure be terns and pelicans at the beach, so we'll get those as well. Afterwards, I'm going to head over to the little town of Ostional. I did some scanning there on Google Maps, and it appears there's a little lagoon there. Now, I'm not sure if it's there actually during dry season or if that's a rainy season thing, but I do want to check it out to make sure that we have that spot covered as well. When we're done with that, I'm assuming that will be around 11 a.m. or something like that. We'll drive back to Nosara. Now, the driving is not just straight driving and making ground. The driving is actually part of this as well, because we will be driving through some fields. There will be some trees on the roadside, and I'm hoping to see some hawks in those trees and on the fields. I'm also hoping we will be able to find double-striped thickney somewhere in the fields on the road to Nosara as well. So by the time we arrive back in Nosara, it's going to be around 12:30, 1 p.m. And as many of you know, that's really not a good time to go birding. And I highly doubt that we're going to be adding any new species between the time of, say, 1 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. to 2:30, 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., I do want to be at the Boca de Rio Nosara. And from there, we'll take the little mangrove trail that I showed you last time, and we will walk to the Reserva Biológica for some late afternoon birding. Now, is that going to be enough to get us to 75 birds? After the way this morning has gone, even though we're at 30 birds right now, I highly doubt that we're going to get to 75. The reason is I had a really good morning the other day at the Reserva Biológica, and right now I'm second guessing the idea to start here, but we will see. For now, let's check out Ostionalito's beach. The plan was good, I thought, until I arrived at the inlet. What looked to be a birding mecca during my first visit here was absolutely empty. Well, not entirely. There was a group of turnstones and a few wimbles. But where were the night herons, the kingfishers, the plovers, the lapwings, all the cool birds from a few weeks earlier? I lugged my scope around desperately to try to find an angle, thinking the birds must be hiding somewhere. They were not. As my hopes were dwindling, I found a few black-bellied plovers at the rocks on the beach, a small, unexpected consolation prize. However, instead of getting better, things got even worse. My detour to the town of Ostional netted me only 2 new species, a white-throated magpie jay and a turkey vulture, a species that I had simply forgotten to count up until then. Time to drive back to Nosara, and maybe time to call it quits and try again another day. The drive back to Nosara at least made me postpone the decision to call it quits. The reliable thickneys once again did not disappoint, a broad-winged hawk posed nicely in a tree at the roadside, and there even was a green kingfisher, in the least likely of locations, in the middle of a field, perched over an irrigation canal. When I then also found a common ground dove, I felt that my luck may have turned. And it had. Crossing the Rio Nosara to get back into town, I noticed a flash of pink in the corner of my eye. I pulled over, grabbed my scope and ran into the path that up until then I had never even noticed. That's peregrine. Or peregrine. Yes, a peregrine. After that excitement was over, I realized that I had found the secret hiding spot. So this is where they were. 7 roseate spoonbills, the bird that had caught my eye, accompanied by great egret, snowy egret, northern jacana and southern lapwings. I had somehow made it to 53 species. At the expense of my phone overheating and me overheating. 1 p.m. There was a chance, but first time to cool down. And we're back. The phone is better, I am better. I just stopped at the supermarket, picked up some water, picked up house sparrow, picked up rock pigeon. We're at 55 species, 20 to go for my target, and now we're heading to the Boca del Rio Nosara and the Reserva Biológica. Let's see. This took me slightly longer than I had planned for, but we're up to 67 species now, 8 shy of the 75 mark. There is a chance, but we only have an hour and a half of daylight left. And we need very specific birds to come close to 75. Let's see. At the Reserva Biologica, all I needed was for my birds to show up. Elegant trogon, squirrel cuckoo, white-necked puffbird, Baltimore oriole, streak-backed oriole, all species that I had seen here before. And it started out great, with Vox's swift still soaring above the hill. A couple of red-billed pigeon brought me to 69 birds. Nice. No, that's not the greatest view, but it's a plain chachalaca, and by my count, that's bird number 70 for today. Ah, there's another one. Okay, let's see. Ah. There we go. Here you are. 70. 5 to go, but it's very quiet. We're just running out of daylight and I'm at 70 species, and just thinking about the day, I'm just shaking my head about the species that I missed. Not seeing a social flycatcher is insane. 71. Well, will you look at that? White-fronted parrot. As I lamented my misfortune some more, a bright-rummed attila called from a tree, bringing me to 72 species. Too little, too late? I sure thought so, but apparently I wasn't quite ready to give up yet. A late stop at the river found me a green heron. 2 to go. Was there a chance? Well, it's not over. I stopped earlier at the river again and I saw a green heron, which for some reason I had missed. As you can tell, the light is very low, the sun is pretty much almost gone. And yeah. And seemingly every bird was a grackle. But then I noticed some movement in the bushes. A stripe-headed sparrow, number 74. We're down to the final bird. Will you listen to this? That is bird number 75. I hope you can hear it. It's loud. Social flycatcher. I'm not making this up. It's right there. What a day! Well, it's 5:55 and I can finally rest. It's been a crazy day, absolutely fantastic, beautiful day, very exhausting, very hot. I probably got too much sun and I probably definitely should have seen that social flycatcher earlier. Could have saved me a lot of trouble in the end, I guess, but I sometimes you just don't pay attention to the common birds. Yeah, that was quite the adventure. I do believe 80 is probably possible. I've missed out on some birds that I think are very gettable here. Bare-throated tiger heron comes to mind, cattle egret comes to mind, boat-billed flycatcher comes to mind. Haven't seen any of those all day, but no, I'm just happy for now. I think I'm going to give it another shot in a few months. This is something you definitely don't do all the time, but for a first time big day, I'm super happy. And yeah, 75. It's possible in Nosara. Unbelievable. All right. See you next week. Take care. Go outside. Happy birding. Ciao.